Hi. Guys. Okay. Hello. You may be wondering why I am dressed so warm. It's an excellent question. I am wearing 2 jackets. Hi everyone. Okay, I want to get a link for my book here to put on there. Our book. Hi Brittany. Hi Christy. I am so excited for tonight. So when Carrie and Adrian join us, they are each going to do a reading of their favorite part of our book for you. This has not been done yet. This is new. And they should be here any second. I'm going to just grab a link and put this on this video. So let me just do that really quickly. Hi, Libby. So it's like 32 degrees here. And it's funny. So I did some recording with some people from Texas. So they flew in from Texas the other day. And they're like, it is so cold here. And I'm like, it's cold here today, but it was 85 degrees like 3 days ago. Okay, here we go. I want to just put this in here. Pre-order. Okay. Yay. Okay, I'm done with my work. I've done it all. I've done all the things. Okay, where are my people? Did anyone by chance, do you want to know something about Adrian? Every time she shares a story about me, she uses this picture from my childhood where I have round, thick glasses and a bowl cut and then a clip. And she uses it every time. And then sometimes she'll even like apologize for using it. So you know what I did? You want to know what I did? I text her best friend, Mary Scott, from the doctor's office with Cooper. And I was like, we got a problem here. I need some terrible pictures of Adrian. And what does a true best friend do? She sent me like 10 within seconds. Hi, Carrie.
How are you?
So good. I'm hoping you sound here. You're good. You're great.
Good. That was so easy. I checked. You sent this to my personal one, which is totally fine.
No, I did both for Adrian, but for yours, it wouldn't let me do your business one.
Oh, that's weird. I had that problem with Adrian, or one of you. It's the same thing. So either way, it doesn't matter to me at all.
Yep. Did you hear the story I was just telling? It's really funny.
No, I just popped in and out.
So every time Adrian shares a story about me, she uses this absolutely terrible picture of me from my childhood with a bowl cut. And
I've seen that.
Well, I mean, everyone at this point. And then each time she'll like apologize. Like, I'm so sorry that this photo just popped on this story, you know? So I was at the doctor today with Cooper. Like, I'm in the trenches, right? The lights are on, the lights are off, the papers are on. You know what I do? I was like, hold on. Mary Scott, I need some really terrible pictures of Adrian. So what does a true good friend do? She sent them like 10 within seconds.
That's Mary Scott. It's very Southern, very Southern. So, well, I haven't have you posted them? I haven't seen them.
I posted one today. And the best part about it is that I went like this, and then I put like this picture of her, like her head in here. And so I'm thinking as I do more, I'll be really pretty, and then I'll just positioning her, because she taught me something. You can, on Instagram stories, you can cut out a sticker of like a person.
Oh,
I know that sounds weird, but if you look at the story, you'll
outline like a silhouette. Yeah. I people blow me away with their Instagram stories, how creative they are. I'm barely at the point where, you know how you have text pop up and you like point. I like just figured that out. Not that I'm ever gonna do it, but
when you're like ding,
yeah,
ding, like that.
because I was like, how do they time it? And then I'm like, oh, you just position the text around the whatever. I love people's stuff, but some of these videos look so time consuming.
Oh yeah.
But
So I'm trying to start sharing. We've talked about this more stuff on YouTube, and it intimidates me in a weird way because everything on YouTube is so curated. Like it's like perfect still frames and like I just I don't have the time, but also B, that's not my passion. Like I don't want to be a video person.
well, and I love that people do it, but I'm thinking, but can they piece all of that together? And then I don't have anything to do it on. Charlie said my son Charlie said there's a name for this where it's all sounds like.
Oh yes.
He named it. Now I can't remember, but I'm like so drawn into those, and it's so ridiculous.
Have you seen the ones where they do that, but they're actually making fun of making fun of them? Even better. Like it's
I'm always like one step behind. Like right now, I'm enjoying those, so I'm not at the irony portion of the program.
Yeah.
And by enjoying them, I'm just like, how does she piece together? Okay, this one woman has 4 kids. She's piecing together her skincare routine. I'm like, maybe people's kids are different than mine were. There was no piecing together video. There was no skincare routine.
I tried to do a video last night with Cooper, and I was home alone with Cooper and Winnie. And I'm telling you, Winnie lost her SHIT, and I had to stop the video. And I was like, what's wrong with me and my children?
No. I mean, I remember I didn't have this, wasn't an option for me to do videos and things. I couldn't have gotten, I could barely write. It was enough that I could write every day. Never mind filming. Nobody wanted to see what was going on in this house.
No, I did a cute little story. Harbor had hockey tryouts on Sunday, and it's so cute. He's so excited. I can't even tell you because he loves a costume.
Oh,
so like,
yeah.
So we're in the car, and I was like, we parked or whatever, and then I was like, Harbor, where are we going? He's like, hockey tryouts. And I'm like, are you so excited? He's like, you smell like a butthole. And I was like, awesome. Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay, you're gonna die. Okay. Has this ever happened in your autism world? Where's Adrian, by the way?
I don't know. I'm surprised. She was all ready.
Yeah.
They ate like 4:30.
Yes, she was. She's like waiting.
I'd have to eat again. Like,
well, they usually eat at like 3:30 and take to the bed, is what she says. Okay, so I brought Cooper to the doctor today, and one of the he did well for Cooper. He's very silly, and lights are on and lights are off. But I mean, the progress he's made at the doctor is phenomenal. Like he lets them do his blood pressure and do all the things. But this like amazing endocrinologist who I just love walks in, and she's so nice to us, and we're talking, and all of a sudden Cooper let out like a 15-second fart, and then he looked at me and he like laughed, and then she looked at me and then she laughed. She's like, I have 3 boys.
Yes.
And then he like Cooper was so proud, and so I was telling Sawyer the story, and I'm like, I was just mortified, and he's like, but did it smell? When did it burst if it smelled? And I'm like, yes.
They're horrible boys. Oh, we went through those years where you'd be driving in the car and be like, what? Who did that? And it was always Charlie. I swear Charlie is lactose intolerant. Oh. I swear, and we should investigate it, but I'm over it with the doctors with him, for anybody who knows, after the whole Bates College thing. But he does not. So we'd go out for ice cream, and then the whole car ride home.
Oh,
like, miserable.
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't know, people weigh in here because I have adult sons. Isn't that crazy? Like 21 is an adult, and my oldest son is a great human. I'll preface it by that. My kids argue with me that you're not supposed to clean your ears. I have cleaned my ears every day since I knew what a Q-tip was. I can hear you fine. So I don't understand that. Well, we went away to Vail, and we had a group chat where it's like, download all your photos that everybody took.
Yeah.
Oh, him, put a photo of what he dug out of his ear in his Q-tip in our group.
Oh!
So they don't get any less gross, I guess is my point to this.
Okay, but let's step back a second. That ear thing, I have cleaned my ears ever since when I get out of the shower, I can't handle water. Now, right. I know that an ENT will say you shouldn't put anything in your ear. Okay, I know that. But so my friend is a nurse, an RN, and I had a little incident with my ear where I worried that Adrian, it won't let me. I invited both your pages, Adrian. When I click on you, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, me come for some reason.
But my nurse friend was like, you shouldn't put anything in your ear. And I was like, people don't really think that.
I
told you that. You can't put anything in your
Either
ear.
well, like,
weird.
clean your ear. Like, don't put a Lego in your ear. But you can put a Q-tip in your ear.
Oh, no, you can't. You are not to put a Q-tip in your ear ever.
The whole
it's
Q-tip industry.
It's the best
It
feeling. Oh,
Sometimes I do it twice a day.
oh, I love
But you know what? My kids, my daughter especially, they're horrified. I wash my hair every day.
Oh yeah, I can't do that.
And a lot of people don't do that. I've done that since I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like, that's, I still have it. It's working for me so far.
And I feel like at this age, we can say we're set in our ways.
I feel pretty set in my ways about cleanliness. Hygiene in particular. I'm not going to like make any big changes anytime soon.
My hairdresser is the one that Lori got me to quit washing my hair every day.
Well, so I watch these videos on Instagram where people, even after like 5 days, they'll just wash the top. Have you seen that? Like part it? Because so like my hair doesn't, I have very thick hair, so
Me too.
Don't get greasy hair. So I could go forever, but like my dear friend, she has to wash it every day or it's like wet.
Yeah, I did, but I trained it. But Carrie, so you have to like do all your whole hair every day.
Yeah. Yes, I do my hair every day. Pretty much every day.
That's what killed me. I was like, I think the children were little, and she was like, you should wash it every day anyway. And I was like, well, that's good because I have no time.
Yeah, but if I don't do this, like I have enough hair, but it's very fine. Like I have a lot of it, but it's fine.
That's how my mother is.
If I don't, well, you guys saw me this morning in our Zoom call. It's not good. It's up in a ponytail.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Oh,
my hair's clean, but it's wet.
Adrian,
exactly.
What were you doing?
I was waiting for my invite.
I invited both your pages.
I did not.
Are you sure you didn't toggle off just comments?
Well, why would I have done that?
In your notifications? Because it's not a comment. It's we'll look at it.
I haven't changed it since you fixed it for me.
Oh.
I don't think.
I don't know. It didn't work for me, but I've had it not work. When I was inviting you, Kate, I couldn't invite your professional page. Weird. It is.
But maybe I did toggle it off. I didn't mean to. I was looking and I thought, well, she's not at the cabin. I texted Joel. Tell me when you're inviting me. Nobody.
I'm
sure.
I always put mine on Do Not Disturb because Jack will call me at exactly the wrong time and shut the whole thing down.
Cooper will too.
Yeah. The worst. I don't mean to be mean, but Jack has literally the worst timing ever.
So I'm in Do Not Disturb now. Does it still disturb you if it's somebody you know?
There's different ones. Yeah. There's like the big Do Not Disturb, and then there's the personal. If I do the personal one, my husband can call Sawyer, the school.
But Do Not Disturb is literally no one?
Yes. So like I will have no idea.
That's the one I chose. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
My kids are big enough that, you know, like they don't need me instantly.
Yeah. So I had something happen tonight that hasn't happened to me in a really long time. So we had an 1.5-hour drive, 1:20 from our house to the cabin.
Is that how long it takes? An hour and 20 minutes.
1:20, yeah.
That's a nice amount of time.
The perfect amount. And then we always stop at McDonald's. We can do the McDonald's drive-through about 20 minutes away, and then that gets us the final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're potty training Winnie, and it's going well, and then it's not going well. So it's just this exhausting. I didn't realize, I was told girls are so much easier, and she's just a total run for my money. So we pull into McDonald's, and we always do the drive-through because for lots of reasons, but we have Cooper as well. And there's no fast moving with Cooper, so we just do the drive-through. Yeah. And as I'm ordering, she's like, I have to go to the bathroom. And I was like, okay, can you just hold it 2 seconds? I got to pay and get the food. And so she burst into tears and she's like, I cannot hold it. And then part of me is just like, go girlfriend. Like at this point, like she holds it and she screams bloody murder the 5 minutes it takes to pay. And because there's people in front of us, get the food. And I was wedged.
Is Jamie in another car? Is he
always in another
Y'all drove separate just for even this little trip.
Well, he pulled a trailer with a box spring.
Oh, good.
And then we can fit 7 in mine, but not 6 in a dog comfortably.
I know this. Yeah.
Yes. So she is. I mean, you know when the crying gets to the level of like, I'm a chill person. I was like Sawyer's like, I can't take it, Mom. I can't take it. And I was like, you take the wheel. I'm bringing her in. I mean, I was joking. And then I was like, Sawyer, you bring her in. And he's like, do I bring her in the boys' bathroom? She made it. She made it. I'm
Oh,
so proud of her. But I'm telling you, it went from 0 to 1,000. Like sweat was dripping down my ears.
well,
You remember those days?
yes. I mean, yes. I will say I don't know who was the easiest. They were all a little tricky and I waited
I
until they were
waited till
3.
people were like in kindergarten.
But see,
Oh yeah.
also, sorry for people that are against this, but my boys always just peed outside. So it was never as stressful.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is a game changer with girls. So
Blair was good about TTing on the potty, but she would not do the
that's
other.
where
And well, let me tell you what the pediatrician, Dr. Coleman, told me before she retired.
okay.
Dr. Coleman said, Adrian, she has very little she can control in her life. This is what she has.
Yeah.
You cannot control this. Let it go. Just forget about it. We bought a great big old Barbie something present she wanted, and we put it up on top of the refrigerator.
Yep.
And when she pooped in the potty, she got the present.
Yes.
And it was a few months. I just stopped worrying about it because she said then it was creating this power struggle that I was going to clearly lose.
That I think is exactly what I would describe our situation at. She's more than capable. She does the peas.
Yeah, like
but
Blair would be like, but there's poop in your pants. You know, if you can say that, you cannot poop in your pants.
oh, Whitney can put her own diaper on.
Oh
Yeah, right. My mother said my brother could wash out his training pants.
Oh my gosh. And you know what? I think the other thing too is that after autism, I know our ages are reversed but after autism, I'm not worried about, like, I'm not worried. I'm just ready to be done.
Yeah.
If that
makes you're so close.
I feel like for us, we always had a preschool, or I worked back then. So there was like a daycare situation that they had to be done, and they helped with doing it. If I remember right.
Potty Olympics at school, the potty Olympics and the potty train where they all like take turns going.
Oh, I love that.
Oh.
And Winnie loves a sticker. Like she's like the sticker chart girl too. So
did Blair love the sticker.
They could like cover her in stickers and she'll be like, I'm good.
I sent Amos, he was, I guess he was about maybe 5 or 6. And it was spring break, and I was like, I'm just going to let him be naked all week. You know, we were in Florida. And he would get to the potty. Like, he could get that if he was naked. So when we got home, I was excited, but I was like, well, he's not used to wearing underwear. So I put him in like very loose shorts and sent him to school in no underpants. And they were horrifying. But I was like, either we do this for like a week or we're back to square one. And they were like, okay, we can handle it.
Yeah.
Every like pediatrician, therapist, gastrointestinal doctor told me about Cooper, because Cooper was 6.5. And you're getting pretty desperate by 6.5. Like it felt like it was like almost game over.
Maybe never going to happen. I remember thinking that.
And also, I remember crying, changing what felt like adult sized no things. And so every doctor and therapist was like, let them be naked, cover your floor in like newspaper, just like let it happen. And I remember it took me a really long time to like do that, if that makes sense. Like it felt like, I don't know what it felt like, but once we did do that, it did get better, but it intimidated me.
Yeah, I could see that. It was, I would have trouble making that leap. It's almost like house training a puppy.
How old was Jack, Carrie?
Jack was 3.5. He was 3.5, but I'll tell you, we had a lot of help. He went to an integrated preschool. We had this fantastic teacher, and she just like made it her life's work that he was going to go in the pot.
And that was a therapist that did that. Made her, like, it was her goal with Cooper.
Like she was not going to rest until he was trained. And what we did with our kids now, like my kids are that much older than yours, we didn't really have pull-ups. Adrian, did your older boys have pull-ups? Like I feel like they weren't invented.
They existed. Blair wore pull-ups as a baby because she would flip whenever you changed your diaper. So I gave up and just had her in pull-ups because you could put them on while she was standing up.
Yeah.
But they didn't, my crowd, none of them slept in pull-ups at night. No. Not even Amos. No. They all didn't pee at night, which they say that's more like physiological.
Yeah, I had a friend way back when who had a son. I mean, it was really tough. As a teenager, he slept so deeply that nothing woke him in order to use the bathroom. And they had an alarm on him that would notify them. Like if there was moisture, I mean, they tried everything, medication. And eventually I do think he figured it out, but you're right. I think it is physiological. I never really had chronic bedwetters.
Yeah, Kate,
It's,
with Cooper, it
yeah.
seems like that's what you have. I guess it's
Yes.
hard to know, right? Like,
So I thought was really fascinating. So, hey Harper, can you go up a minute? So hey Jamie, can you grab Harper? I'm in a really small space with lots of people out there. So we this bedwetting thing it's a real problem as your kids get bigger, and it's real and it's really hard.
Yeah.
And so we went to the doctor, and we have a phenomenal pediatrician who I love, and he told me that, don't quote me on this, medical people, but I think this is loosely right, that your body develops a hormone, and as you get older, to tell your kidneys to chill out at night and hold you. And if you don't develop that hormone, there's nothing you can do. It doesn't matter if you limit beverages. It doesn't matter if you take them pee at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. It's still going to happen. So when parents get really mad at their kids and maybe punish them for this, they can't help it.
No.
right.
So he prescribed this medicine that has changed our whole life. It's called desmopressin, and there's a nickname for it too, like an acronym or something. And someone will say it, and we give it to him every night, and it's changed our whole life. It's changed our whole life. And eventually he will develop the hormone, so it won't be a forever thing. But now that I'm talking about it like gently, everyone's like, oh yeah, it's the best thing ever. And I'm like, why is no one talking about this?
Well, I think my friend used that. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know the name of it, but I've heard of that before.
I don't think they're talking about it because it would be like, how horrified would Sawyer be if you were talking about it and it was him?
Yeah, I guess. I have a friend whose son is neurotypical, and he uses it for sleepovers. So I hear that a lot of
yes, Thomas had a friend. I mean, 15 or 16 still took it.
Yeah,
but he would have been mortified if his mother was talking about it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I'll say it gently then. Like, it has changed our whole entire life. Like, we couldn't go to hotels or travel. It was just a lot. It was real messy. So, and the thing is, it's not his fault. Like, it's not the kid's fault.
And I don't like the idea. I know I have family members that did this with their own kids. I don't like restricting kids' beverages. Like, I drink a ton of water. We've talked about that when we were traveling. Like, we like water around us all the time. I just don't think that's the answer, to restrict. I don't even do that to the dog. Like, do you take the dog's water up at a certain time?
No.
Well,
some people do that, but
if we fly with Honor, she doesn't have food or water after 8 o'clock the night before.
Oh, okay.
That's probably it's because she's working.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's
so the next day.
Yeah,
that makes sense. But I don't know if y'all knew this, but Amos went to potty training camp at Emory Autism Center.
No. Did it work?
Well, yes. But I didn't. It was very, very helpful when he had just turned 6 when he was potty trained. He was 3 at the time. He was three and a half. And all my other kids were going to camp, and my parents said, would you like to we'd love to send him to camp. How about, and I said, great, there's this potty training camp that I'd like to go to. So it was basically like ABA camp, and it was 5 days, and you go to the ABA center, and you basically sit on the potty, and you get flooded with salty snacks and juice, right?
Okay.
And then for like every certain amount of time you sat on the potty, you got like a reward, maybe the iPad or a game or a toy or something you liked. And then when you left the potty camp, you had to go to the hotel and continue with your potty training. It was very intensive. But I think ultimately it helped us once he was potty trained, because I at least knew enough to know what to do.
Yeah.
So that's exactly how I potty trained Cooper. I just didn't go anywhere, but I had read that somewhere. So we spent a full day in my master bedroom because there was a bathroom, and we drank Capri Suns and drank water and had snacks. And it was so fascinating because he came to me and he was like, he had to go to the bathroom. And so I put him on the toilet, and it was, it was hard. And he eventually released his bladder. And from that second on, he understood what he was supposed to do. And it was this realization, and Adrian and I talk about this a lot with neurotypical versus neurodiverse. I never had to teach my other kids to release their bladder. Like Cooper did not know what to do on the toilet.
Right.
One time. Yep.
Wow. So
just
drank
like 10 Capri Suns. And I was like,
which is really only about 10 tablespoons of water, because there's really not much in those little pouches.
It's mainly sugar.
Yeah. Still recover. Okay, let's talk. Do you guys want to do just a really quick intro, and then we'll talk about?
Yes. Ooh, look at that. Sure, go ahead, Adrian.
I'm Adrian Wood. I have 4 children, 3 teenagers who were home for the weekend. It was fun, and they're gone. And a 10-year-old with autism who is supposed to be being very quiet during the video. And he is not gone. He's right here.
Mm-hmm. And how are the braces?
Oh, yeah.
You talk differently. I'm noticing you talk differently.
I know. And now we're doing the audio for the book, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
I didn't even think about
it. A lisp.
Oh, great. That's just
you hear it?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Now I'm going to hear it.
But I'm also very in tune to Adrian.
Well, as you should be. Aren't we all?
Let me try to talk without the lisp.
Oh, see?
I can talk without the lisp if I work very hard.
This is going to be a great audio book.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be
we'll split her
exhausting.
Can you say y'all? We got to master that, Kate. If we're going to take her part, we're like, whoever can say y'all better. She writes that a lot.
I'm going to find somebody to read my part.
No.
Lori read it.
Lori could read it.
You have to read it. I had a lisp as a kid. Like I went to speech therapy 100 years ago. And at the end of my recording from my book, Half My Sky, I could feel my lisp returning, because your mouth gets so tight.
Oh,
the funniest thing about recording an audiobook, and I'll see if Carrie agrees, that let's just say you're reading and you say a word wrong. It is really hard to say it right. So my word that I could not say was diverticulitis. And I could not. We had to take a break. I had to walk and retrain my brain.
And you think, why did I write stressful statistics in the sewing room? The most ridiculous things. And I had a director there with both of mine, which was great, because it's all these little tricks. Start every sentence with your mouth open, so you're not and then and I would have a pit in my stomach thinking he's gonna every paragraph he'd say, let's just read, you were very slushy on the end, you sort of trailed off, and
or your mouth sounds dry, take a drink,
or I heard your sleeve rustle against the chair. It's very exact. And
it's terrible.
I did mine at home. This is
Y'all made it sound like it was fun.
It is fun, but Jamie was here. So my producers were in New York in the headphones, right? They could hear my dog's toenails upstairs, Jamie loading the dishwasher, Jamie peeing. They could hear it. And then it was the middle of February and my heat was kicking on, and they're like, we're going to need you to shut that off.
Yeah.
And but it won't be like that. We'll be at a studio.
A studio that's this big. This is how much I love you guys, because you know how claustrophobic I am. And it's soundproof, and I am bundled in there. And I'm not a big soda drinker, but that's the kind of thing a Diet Coke just feels good for. They didn't let me bring in the metal can in case I brushed it, and it yeah. So
I heard now that they do the studio, it's pitch black. I wonder why. They make you be in the dark.
Mine will not be pitch black.
You're memorize the book.
And you go up and down.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, I'm very claustrophobic. Sir, open the door.
So this is such a weird story. I had to get I got a mammogram, which everybody should get a mammogram. But my friend, I have the closest friend who knows just how to rile me up. And she's like, imagine you're in that and the power goes off. You can't get out of it. And I was like, why?
I was in
Did you
MRI machine and the power went off.
Oh,
But they have an emergency button.
shoot you right out.
Adrian, could we like call Carrie's producer and like mess with her? Or what if we showed up? Like,
He's my guy.
Like
I won't tell
tomorrow, I'm putting it on my list of things I
You'll
need
never
to do.
find him. He's underground in a bunker in like Cambridge, Massachusetts. I did a live from there purposely, so it's like, here I am at Elephant Audiobook. So if I don't come home later, people would know where to find him.
before I go to my storage locker, I do a story and I'm like, if you don't hear from me, wink, wink. Like,
Storage locker. So you actually have
I have a storage.
Can you get locked in there?
What do you keep in the storage locker?
This is just then Carrie, you have to introduce yourself. But so our nonprofit has just lots of stuff, like, you know, stuff. Jamie said I couldn't keep it in the garage anymore. So I rented a storage locker, and it's like big. It's, you know, the ones where you have them there where you drive by and you can see like the glass. It's like a glass building, so you could like look in and see the doors. Do you guys have those?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Junky ones.
Oh, so I rented one of those, and this is true. So I get there, and you have to code into drive-in and then code into the building. And I was looking at the numbers, like trying to find, I'm inside walking and I'm like looking for 7114, right? And I could not find it. And it's like hallway. Okay, so, and I am not claustrophobic or anything.
Yeah.
This is true story. I turn around and there's a man at the end of like the hallway. And you know who he looks like? Dahmer. And I'm like, oh, hi. And he like comes towards me. He's like, you need some help, miss? And I was like, yeah, I do.
Honey, I'm over here.
He's like, what number are you? And I was so afraid. I'm like, 7114. And he's like, I'll bring you there. And like, he brought me right there. And then I was like,
I can't believe you told him the number.
I was in there with him. I don't know.
Okay, but wait.
You know what I do if I get scared by somebody like that?
What do you do?
Yeah.
I've done this twice.
Oh no.
You
go live.
You're about to be banned from Facebook.
No.
Okay.
I'm saving that for yours.
Oh God. I hope I can manage to invite you. It might be hard. I'm still learning.
If you're scared, my dad taught me
Oh,
this.
good. Okay.
Okay. You're walking, and one time we were on a family trip, and we were in Venice, Italy, and I was maybe 9. And my dad said, there appears to be someone following us. So when I count to 3, everybody turn around and run at him.
Oh my gosh, you're getting goosebumps.
And he said, 3, 2, 1. And we turned around and went. And the person was like,
kids? You kids?
So it was mom?
yeah, we were children.
Brother?
Yeah, the 4 of us. So then a few years ago, my husband is at his aunt's funeral. Well, he gets there early because his parents give him the wrong time. That's another story. And it's in this little town called Oxford. It is there. He's downtown. There's not a soul there. He's walking down the street alone in a suit. And this man is walking beside him. And he was like, I felt kind of weird. Like he was walking kind of close to me. And as he passed Thomas, he punches Thomas in the head.
Oh, like that thing that's happening in New York with like the women getting punched.
Yes.
What? I didn't hear about that.
Oh, yeah.
It's a thing. So I said to Thomas, you didn't do my trick. So we go fast forward.
But first, was he okay? What happened?
He was fine. Well, he swung at the person, but the person got away. Who knows?
Poor Thomas.
So then a few years ago, we were going to go meet college friends, and everybody was staying at this really nice hotel. And Amos must have been a baby. We didn't have enough to stay at the hotel 2 nights. So I was like, well, let's stay at the nice hotel 1 night, and the other night we'll stay at the inexpensive hotel, and I'll do Priceline. I'd never done Priceline. And it was like $42 a mile from the mall. I was like, well, that's fine. No fine. Bad, scary hotel. So as I'm walking to get some ice at the motel, this scary man is walking towards me, and I did the trick.
So what happened? What was his reaction?
Ready for the trick?
I thought, will you run?
No, the trick is better than that. I altered the trick.
Oh, okay.
2.0. Trick
I
2.0.
turned around and then I did this. He
What did he do?
went, he cussed. He cussed.
Oh.
And he moved and got out of the way. So I told Thomas, if he had done that, that man would not have punched him in the head.
No, I bet no.
That's all you have to do.
Or I've heard you should turn and look them right in the eye and say, like, how's the weather? Like something very direct.
The scaring and making faces, I would say, is 100% works. Because then they think you're nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt kind of vulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
Locker. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know if I would go alone to one of those
Yeah,
places.
you need to have some bear mace. I have bear mace.
I bring people now. I brought Winnie last time.
Well, that's very helpful.
Oh, that's good. So they could take her.
First get off her. Ah!
She's not potty trained yet, but
She's really cute.
bring her back when.
Okay, Carrie, do your intro, and then I have to read, and I'll tell you everything. Yeah, go ahead.
How do you have that nice cover? Let me see that.
Oh, you know about this?
You don't know this story?
No.
Yes,
The story.
she does.
Know this story. So I had asked for a cover from Rachel
Oh.
to bring,
Oh.
and so it looks like this. This is what it looks like.
Oh. Okay.
What the back is gonna look like. We don't have quotes yet or photos.
Yeah.
But here's the.
We'll make up our
But
own.
here's
I sent Erica a picture I wanted her to put of you on the back of that book.
Of you,
But
Kate?
here's the funniest part. So Rachel like sends this to me, and she must have thought that I don't have a book, so she sent me RuPaul.
RuPaul books now.
This is like my favorite part of the story. So I was like, well, thank you. I didn't have a book, so I appreciate
Own books. I just write them. Well, I'm gonna ask her for one of those because that's so much easier when you're mine. The ones I printed are glossy, so they don't read as well.
People think the book is very thin. They think
Yeah.
they might not get their money's worth.
That is the funniest story because I didn't pick up on that right away. People were like, how many pages is your book? I was like, what a weird question.
I have it right here. I'm just gonna find
Where's
I've
mine? I'm somewhere.
How many
And
pages?
mine, all right, I'm gonna ask her for one because mine is glossy. So see how it just like reflects weird.
Well,
And
Kate,
they
you
are-
can probably forward us the email. We can get it printed, right?
I bet she could just send it, yeah. Or the email, yeah. No, she printed it for me.
Oh, she printed it too. Okay.
VIP. I also got RuPaul's signed book.
Is this signed? I was like, that's really worth some money.
Okay, so I've been watching. Carrie, do your intro and then intro the book too.
Not RuPaul. I'm Carrie Cariello, married to Joe, dentist. His license plate says painless because dentists are very funny. We have 5 kids, 21. Our son Jack is 20. He's diagnosed with autism. Charlie, 18, home for fall break. He worked today for 9 hours in his father's office, hanging bookshelves. And
Wow.
I was like, did he feed you lunch? Then my husband left at 6 to go to his indoor golf league, and Charlie was still there.
I bet those hygienists love to have him there.
I
mean, he's thinking cute. I would have ate him up.
Yeah, he's very charming, and he loves stuff like that. And the truth is, Charlie, at 18, you know, he's busy in college. And when he came home yesterday, he's like, I can tell already, like he'll start to chew on himself a little bit if he doesn't have enough to fill his time.
Oh.
And I was out all day. So anyway, that's another story. My daughter Rose is 17. She just committed to Notre Dame. Beyond crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And my youngest son, Henry, is 15. Cross-country runner.
Your baby?
Who knew? Baby is 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
And that's that. Jack is 20 years old. He lives in a supported community a couple hours away, so he doesn't live here anymore. He just texted me before we got on to give you a glimpse of Jack, asking about a radio he had when he was 4 and if I still have it. And I said, no, we do not still have it. We've moved. We don't still have it. Are you sure? Pretty sure. Can you check? No.
Still no. Oh my gosh. Okay, tell a little bit about your book and then, or about our book, or someone wants to intro it. And then I will tell you, I asked each of them or all of us to pick out our favorite part, but I forgot mine. So mine I can do next week.
Okay.
Share your favorite parts. Oh, don't you judgy McJudgy me with your judgy face.
He was driving with 1 billion kids. Mine might be too long. I'm going to parse mine down.
How long did you? Well, I have is it like you want one section? I mean, one paragraph? How long of the section? I've got the section, but how long is it supposed to be?
They're about 300 words out of the chapter I like. So to give the backstory, we've been like friends and collaborating for about 5 years now, 4 or 5 years, just in this kind of realm. And Kate had me talk to her agent, and her agent said, I don't like your idea for a book, Carrie. That sounds weird, and I'll never be able to see that on a shelf anywhere. And no, I love Jennifer. But she did, don't you find the rejection is, I can't see where that would go on a shelf? That's always been my rejection.
I've been trying to write a caregiving book forever. And I'm like, each time I'm like, there's like 2 billion caregivers in the world. Am I trying to sell it? And they're like, yeah, I don't see it.
We can't see where that would go. Anyway, that was half my sky. But she said the three of you should write a book. And from there we were like off and running. And within 6 months, we had 13 chapters, a title that we all love. And so it is available for pre-order. Please pre-order, and it's out
right now.
It's out for pre-order now, and then release date is April 1st. So we're super excited.
And so pre-orders are a really big deal. You're going to hear us talking about this a lot. Pre-order, if you commit to buying the book, that's what a pre-order is. It means that you're going to get it right on release date, even if there's, maybe 50,000 people pre-ordered and they only did 10,000, you're going to be promised a copy. They're going to print enough for you. And then it means that you care enough about the book to order it early. So Target's going to pay attention, and Barnes & Noble, and independent bookstores, and libraries. So if you plan on reading our book, we really would love it if you would pre-order.
Yes.
And so link in the comments.
I'm going to do it right now.
And as a little, we won't be doing this a lot, but since we're excited about this, we thought we would read a little teaser of kind of our favorite part. Now, I was going through the book this afternoon. It was really hard for me to land on a favorite part. So, Adrian, tell us about your part of the book. What do you like?
So I decided that I was going to read something kind of funny.
Okay.
Because I like funny on a Tuesday night.
Not on a Wednesday night. Then things
we draw the line. We get real serious.
Just Tuesday. So this is in I think this was the diagnosis chapter. No. Well, I don't know what chapter it was. I took screenshots. Well, anyway, you're going to have to read it to find out. So, okay. A year after the diagnosis, I felt ready to tackle the world. In a moment of naive confidence, I signed Amos up for his first taste of rec sports. This reading is going to be bad. I would soon be humbled by the rite of passage that marked 3 to 5-year-olds in our small town. Practices and games marked early spring, and I was reminded of my former life with Amos's older siblings. I'd enjoyed clambering up noisy bleachers and visiting while a herd of preschoolers ran aimlessly on the grassy rectangle, stopping only to wave or pick the occasional dandelion or a lost cleat. Games were played largely by a few precocious athletes, and because I had never belonged to one of those collegiate recruits, I spent my time ignoring the antics on the field and exchanging gossip and news, like who was expecting a baby or selling their house. A minute or so into the first game, I realized my days on the bleachers and gabbing on the sidelines had effectively ended. On that cold Saturday morning in March, I was the only grown-up on the pint-sized field. I was the one chasing the small boy with spaghetti legs who flew down the field only to gleefully immerse himself in the other team's soccer net. Clearly, this child had a thing for nets, I thought, remembering the middle school soccer game. I had the wherewithal to don tennis shoes and mom jeans as I prepared to hunt and gather 4-year-old Amos. I swallowed my pride and remembered that boy I'd wished would walk. He had allowed himself to be dressed in socks and his big brother's hand-me-down cleats, which I hadn't had the heart to give away, even though I had nary a hope that he would play sports. He did kick the ball, though not in a team sort of way. When instructed by the coach, he connected that little old foot with the ball. I ate popcorn, drank a juice box, and sat on a bench surrounded by little boys and did my best to show Amos the beauty of being part of a team. When he ran, I ran, and when he sat, I sat. And when he wandered astray, I gathered in my arms and told him I was so proud. And really, I was proud of both of us, the clever little boy and the mom on the field who had never been anywhere but on the bleachers. I was filled with thanksgiving for the coaches who called my son by name and those parents whose faces radiated joy from their perch on metal slats.
Oh my gosh, I put myself in that exact scenario, Adrian. It's so relatable.
Yeah.
Quite humbling.
Yeah.
It was like the pinnacle of humbling.
Yeah.
I think.
You know,
because you were all alone and they were all, but no one was judging. It just was, it was autism out loud in a nutshell.
We never had Cooper on a field, but for me it was the parks. And I remember like being up in the top of like a play structure, peering down at the moms, like sipping Starbucks coffee and talking and just hating them for their lives being so easy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did you ever go up in like the Chick-fil-A climbing gym?
Yes.
Oh, I just remember being up there and being like, oh, I'm going to get some sort of like hand, foot, and mouth disease. I'm here trying to drag him out of the tunnel.
Face to face with a little girl in a tunnel one time, a tube, and she's like, "You're too fat to be in here." I didn't skip a beat, and I said, "No one would hear you scream in here." That was my version of ah!
That's awesome.
Okay, Carrie, yours.
All right. So I'm going to shorten mine a little bit, but this was a good one for me because, you know, people watching us may not realize like we connect at various times throughout the day, like ridiculousness, right? Like little shreds of our lives we share. And I shared with both of you last week that I was irritated with Joe because, well, I shouldn't have called him stupid. Like that wasn't nice of me, but I apologized.
But why did you call him stupid? I never did follow up with that.
We disagreed on a big topic politically, and we just couldn't get. I know we've been so good about staying out of that fray. Good.
Same here.
I couldn't do it for some reason, and we just sort of. And now Joe's pretty calm, and I was like, I didn't even say you are stupid. I said you sound stupid.
Oh, well, that's not nearly as bad.
I said that I apologize. And instead of packing up his apology and running, which is what I would have done, he took the opportunity to be like, it's not the words, but the intent behind the words. Joe is not an apologizer. I mean, he does not reach for that. But I share a lot about marriage, and I share about it in this book in the chapter called The Autism Family. And it was good for me to go through this and reread and a nice reminder of all the lovely things Joe does do for me. So every once in a while, we need the reminder. A mother's grief demands oxygen. It fills the room with color and sound. A father's grief is quiet. It is an after-hours affair when everyone else has gone to bed and the lights are dim. Watching his silhouette in the darkness, I knew Joe was grieving something, even if he couldn't quite name it. He was desperate to protect his son. A young mother once asked me how I made sure I paid enough attention to all of our kids. Her face was so earnest, so open and honest. I wanted to give her a hug. And for a split second, I considered listing strategies for emotional child management in a larger family, when another thought popped into my head entirely. Without hesitating, I suggested she worry less about the attention her kids get and more about the attention her marriage gets. Now I notice the small things. The way he offers me the first bite of every meal, or how he reaches for my hand in a crowd. Coffee in the morning, silly texts throughout the day. These are all the little love letters between us. Still, there are parts of us that are not shiny. Just the other night, we argued. Joe accused me of being already elevated, in a bad mood before he even walked through the door. And he wasn't wrong. We had dinner plans with friends. I wanted to get there on time, but his class at the gym ran late. I stood in the kitchen watching the clock until I heard his car in the driveway. I followed him when he left the room to take a shower. On the way up the stairs, our voices took on a jagged edge. Whenever we argue, I feel like the worst parts of me are exposed. My pettiness, my righteousness, my shame. At the same time, I see the worst of him. I forget all about the good parts. Can we love the unshiny version of ourselves? I guess that's the question. I guess you might say that's all we're still learning to do. He slammed the shower door. I huffed out of the room. I went back downstairs and sat at my desk, seething. I thought of my mother and the tears on Joe's face when he found out she died. I walked back upstairs to find him, unshiny me. He was standing in front of the mirror combing his hair. He turned, palms outstretched. Forgiveness has always been his superpower. We sit on the couch every night after dinner, me on the chaise, Joe in the nest. We wait for the lights to sweep up the driveway. Teenagers home from work, from the movies, from their secret lives. When our oldest calls from college, we swap the phone back and forth between us. We catch each other's eye and smile at a funny text Jack sends. We marvel at his progress in this college program. Here, we're briefly young again. We're briefly gorgeous. We're the culmination of our battle scars, our jagged voices, our stolen moments. Unshiny, yet good.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you.
That's so good. You think you'd write a whole book on marriage?
I would. Do you mean from the point of, from a privacy standpoint, or would I have enough content? I wonder if I'd have enough content.
I think you would.
It's so interesting. We went out,
Really
we had
good.
a dinner out the other night, he and I, like just the two of us. We have space for that now. And there was a banquet hall attached to the restaurant, and a bride, you know, people getting married. And I looked at the bride and I thought, I actually felt sorry for her, because you just can't know all that's ahead of you on that day.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this week's essay is going to be 5 minutes with a bride. If I had 5 minutes with a bride, what would I say to her?
Oh, marriage is by far the hardest thing. I mean, it's just the person I was on my wedding day. I don't even know who that is anymore. I don't feel like I'm that person at all. And I really do think autism changed a lot of me for the better. But
Yeah.
wow.
Yes, but it tangled up our marriage quite a bit. It took years for me to figure out, like, I have to let Joe relate to his son in the way he knows best. I always like to interfere. I say mom, M-O-M, manager of moods, was a role I had to step out of because I was really interfering. So I always tell young moms, like, let the dad, and I think you guys are great at this. Like, you let Jamie and Thomas do what they do best with your kids, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, marriage. Okay. So for anyone that was a little glimpse, we won't be doing glimpses every week by any means, but I think we'll kind of sprinkle them in and hopefully entice you to buy and pre-order, because the topics really do vary every chapter, from diagnosis to siblings to marriage to anxiety to caregiving, building community. I mean, we cover everything in here.
There's something for everybody. And I'm not saying that from a sales point of view. I mean, I believe as an author and a writer, I believe that there's something for teachers. There's something for the neighbor, you know, a grandpa. I had my grandfather send me the sweetest message that, you know, he uses our stories as a way to connect with his 7-year-old grandson. So yeah.
I love that. Do you two have time to hop on my page, or are you out of time?
I do.
I do.
Okay, so let's hop over to my subscriber page. I pinned a link. If you want to click that link and come join, you can come chat with us.
Yay. Okay, in a minute.
See ya.